Start your engines, builders. Ethereum NYC just opened, the venue humming like a mining rig. Hundreds of teams, sleepless focus, and whispers of alpha leaking.
Before headlines print, dev chats churn with track picks, ZK wallets, AI-governed treasuries, cross-chain yield routers. If even half ships, tonight's rumors become tomorrow's narratives. Sentiment spiking, ETH funding rates inch higher, options IV warms, perp open interest builds. Traders smell builder-led catalysts, positioning early while prototypes compile on coffee.
Close up, hardware sprawl, terminals, L2 proofs, account abstraction flows, MEV smoothing vaults. Teams compare benchmarks, fork repos, and sprint toward demos, ready to survive live.
Zoom out. Asia, London, New York flows align with risk appetite.
Risky,
USD
but the
index
indicators
easy.
are aligning.
If prototypes
Let's
deck,
monitor closely.
liquidity rotates toward ecosystems. Watch gas, L2 throughput, and bridges.
On X, Telegram, and Discord, hashtag Spike, ETH NYC, ZK, L2. Verify builders tease demos, judges drop hints. Signal rising will separate hype from actionable alpha.
ETH Global, core devs, and ecosystem partners converged to launch Ethereum NYC, a high-stakes sandbox for ZK, L2 scaling, DeFi security, and cross-chain automation.
Key stakeholders include Consensus, Polygon, Flow, auditors, infra providers, and investor mentors. They supply price tracks, credits, and security guidance to accelerate production-grade Ethereum.
From sponsor calls to venue lock, workshops scheduled, judge confirmations, and partner bounties, the timeline compressed fast, positioning one for functional demos rather than vaporware. The venue's floor plan clusters teams by track, easing mentor flybys and integrations. Aerial views reveal hardware kiosks, side stage demos, and corners for founders closing commitments. Teams flew in from North America, Europe, MENA, and Asia Pacific. Cross time zone squads coordinate via repos, dashboards, and bounties that incentivize overnight progress and validator-ready deployments.
Media crews roam, but builders drive the story. Rapid demos, GitHub stars climbing, candid clips circulating. Expect recaps soon. Actionable alpha arrives first from prototypes.
Opening keynote emphasized composability, account abstraction for smoother onboarding, intent-based transactions, and privacy-preserving proofs by default. The message: build secure, interoperable dApps without sacrificing decentralization.
Early releases teased grants for ZK toolkits, L2 data availability choices, and standardized bridge monitoring. Sponsors urge shipping reference implementations teams can fork and deploy fast.
Theme highlights: AI copilots for risk, autonomous liquidity balancers, and intent compilers. Expect modular stacks, data pipelines, ZK circuits, and wallets interlocking with DeFi primitives.
Press briefings stress responsible disclosure, audits, gas drifty patterns, and user testing. Judges favor outcomes, transactions per second, latency reduction, and security invariance verifiable on-chain. Headlines spotlight aggressive bounties for wallet UX, gas fee smoothing, and safer cross-chain transfers. Expect fierce competition, shipping beats theory, and dashboards prove product traction. Infographics summarize tracks, prize pools, judging criteria, and timelines. Builders screenshot requirements, allocate tasks, and set checkpoints with judging rubrics to maximize points, avoiding over-engineering. Founder quote: "We build for resilience, not hype. If our contracts can't survive hostile conditions, they don't ship. Focus, audits, chaos testing, and failure paths."
Judge comment: gas wins matter. Optimize call data, reduce storage rights, avoid reentrancy, and document invariants. Clear scoring favors efficiency gains alongside compelling UX and recoverability.
Panel takeaway: interoperability is utility. Bridges, intents, and shared security will normalize cross-chain actions. Expect products abstracting networks, letting users transact seamlessly without understanding routes.
Candid floor views show mentors urging threat modeling, fuzzing, tests, and circuit constraints. Teams share scripts testing L2s, monitoring gas spikes, and catching MEV cases. Influencers post, "show code or it didn't happen."
clips of deployments, unit test passing, and time to finality charts outperform vague teasers. Community rewards receipts, not vibes.
Media correspondents echo a message: progress beats speculation. They spotlight teams publishing reproducible benchmarks, transparent roadmaps, and bug bounties, translating technical milestones into verifiable stories.
Bitcoin tracks risk appetite as builders ship. Steady bids appear on dips, futures basis firms, and liquidity tightens spreads while macro stays quiet. Narratives rotate.
Ethereum leads on speculation tied to hackathon breakthroughs. Spot volume climbs, depth improves, and option skew leans bullish as traders front-run potential demos and integrations.
Altcoins linked to ZK, AI tooling, and cross-chain rails outperform. Liquidity rotates into infra plays, while beta names react fastest to whispers on builders track focus.
Real-time dashboards flash rising open interest, tightening spreads, and depth across majors. Watch order flow around headlines and spot to perp divergences that hinted momentum continuation. On-chain watchers flag clustered high-value transactions in ETH and select DeFi tokens. Accumulation patterns match previous pre-announcement buildups seen before major protocol launches. Social chatter spikes with hackathon hashtags, sentiment leaning bullish. Meme coins tied to event narratives pop briefly, signaling traders' readiness to chase emerging micro-themes aggressively.
Tech stocks with blockchain exposure like Coinbase and Block edge higher. Moves mirror crypto's risk-on tone, with volume spiking in tandem with ETH's intraday breakout.
Payment processors like PayPal and Stripe see mild lifts. Traders speculate on partnerships with Ethereum startups debuting here, especially in instant settlement and compliance rails.
Analysts highlight ETH NYC as a gauge of development interest. Equity traders rotate into blockchain infrastructure plays, anticipating capital inflows if standout projects secure funding fast. Stock sector breadth expands modestly, led by software and fintech. Broader sentiment remains cautious, but blockchain-linked sectors are clearly outperforming on speculative participation flows.
Corporate strategy teams monitor ETH NYC project demos for integration prospects. Executives focus on scalable APIs, People AR for user behavior analysts, compliance-ready DeFi, and onboarding flows compatible with their existing platforms.
Cross-venue trades between equity and crypto desks rise, hinting at funds repositioning portfolios to capture moves in correlated blockchain infrastructure names and liquid crypto assets.
Gold's mild pullback reflects risk appetite shifting to growth asset. Crypto's rally, amplified by hackathon optimism, diverts short-term flows from safe haven metals into blockchain plays.
Oil stability keeps energy costs predictable for mining operations. Macro calm lets Ethereum headlines dominate sentiment without interference from broader commodity-driven market volatility.
A softer USD slightly boosts overseas crypto demand. Combined with ETH NYC excitement, the currency backdrop adds a marginal tailwind to speculative positioning across ETH and DeFi. Inflation data meets expectations, allowing risk assets to extend gains. The absence of macro shocks gives Ethereum narratives room to drive short-term market leadership.
Bond yields eased slightly, aligning with a modest bid into risk. Equities, crypto, and commodities sensitive to liquidity benefit from the relaxed rate backdrop.
Global trade metrics remain stable, signaling no immediate supply shocks. This steadiness supports the narrative that current crypto moves are event-driven, not macro-reactive.
ETH Global Paris proved concentrated dev energy can spark narratives for months. ETH NYC has even stronger sponsor backing, potentially pushing innovations faster into mainstream adoption.
DeFi summer showed a few bold experiments can ignite sector-wide growth. With AI, ZK, and cross-chain projects, ETH NYC could trigger an even bigger wave.
The NFT boom began with small communities at hackathons. One standout ETHNYC project could birth a new asset category, altering Ethereum's ecosystem trajectory entirely.
ETH Denver's community-first approach inspired enduring teams. ETH NYC's balance of global talent and investor presence could foster sustainable, long-term project ecosystems beyond event hype.
Consensus 2018 signaled institutions' entry into blockchain. ETHNYC, with more polished tech and investor readiness, could accelerate enterprise adoption of Ethereum-based infrastructure.
ETH Global Online proved remote builds can scale globally. ETHNYC's hybrid format combines that reach with on-site intensity for maximum innovation output.
Hackathon winners who ship quickly dominate narrative cycles. ETH NYC teams releasing MVPs within weeks could capture liquidity and community before competitors react.
Security lapses have killed promising projects. ETH NYC's emphasis on audits and robust design ensures innovation survive scrutiny and maintain investor confidence.
Strong communities keep projects alive in bear markets. ETH NYC builders who cultivate engaged user bases will sustain traction beyond initial hype.
Strategic partnerships after hackathons boosts adoption. ETH NYC teams securing integrations or exchange listings early can speed market entry significantly. Transparent data and code foster trust. ETH NYC participants who open source tools and share metrics could attract both contributors and capital faster. Markets evolve quickly. ETH NYC builders who adapt features to user feedback will outpace those fixated on perfecting static concepts.
Unlike past hackathons, AI is embedded in most projects here, from governance to DeFi automation, expanding Ethereum's utility into entirely new areas.
Cross-chain capability is now expected, not optional.
ETH NYC products work across EVM and non-EVM chains, dissolving liquidity silos and widening user reach. Institutional interest is higher than ever. VCs and corporate teams roam ETH NYC floors, scouting for integration-ready, compliance-aware blockchain solutions to fund or partner with. Global media coverage amplifies ETH NYC's impact, turning standout projects into instant public stories, boosting visibility far beyond Ethereum's developer circles. Regulatory considerations are front of mind. ETH NYC projects are building with compliance layers from day one, anticipating smoother adoption in regulated markets.
Judging favors measurable progress, transactions processed, gas saved, users onboarded, ensuring ETH NYC winners deliver tangible value, not just visionary pitches.
ETH could retest resistance within days if hackathon winners impress. Sustained momentum depends on follow-through shipping and investor willingness to back high-performing games quickly.
Tokens tied to hackathon themes, ZK tools, AI DeFi, cross-chain protocols may outperform in the short term as traders position ahead of broader narrative uptake. DeFi protocols demo here could see immediate liquidity inflows. Investors often seed high-potential products early to capture volume, yield, and governance influence at launch.
L2 scaling solutions in the spotlight could experience rapid user growth. Low fees and speed attract both builders and users as mainstream dApps migrate over.
Projects passing rigorous audits may receive immediate valuation boosts. Investors prize security-first builds, especially after high-profile DeFi hacks in the previous cycle.
Early token holders could gain outsized influence in DAOs formed from hackathon winners. Governance alignment often drives community growth and user retention over time.
The ETH Global Finals will crown winners, often triggering rapid funding and media coverage. Expect big announcements that cement reputations and accelerate product roadmaps.
Sponsors host deep dive workshops post-event. These sessions help teams refine MVPs, integrate infrastructure tools, and form lasting relationships with service providers and venture backers. Hackathon winners often appear in major conferences within weeks. This visibility draws attention from larger industry players and can fast-track strategic partnerships. Many teams aim to launch public betas shortly after the hackathon. Early adopters often get perks, governance rights, or airdrops for feedback participation.
Integration announcements with wallets, exchanges, or dApps can propel hackathon products into daily use, solidifying their relevance in the Ethereum ecosystem.
Winning teams often close funding rounds within weeks. These investments can help secure talent, expand features, and scale infrastructure for rapid growth.
Which ETH NYC theme excites you most? ZK, AI DeFi, or cross-chain? Drop your pick in the comments and share why you think it's the winner. From alpha leaks to market ripples, ETH NYC shows how developer energy shapes trends. The next market leader may have just debuted on this stage.
Subscribe now to get follow-ups on ETH NYC's winners, funding moves, and integrations before the broader market reacts and the narratives hit mainstream beats.
Join our community for live updates, alpha drops, and exclusive Q&As with ETH NYC Wilders. Be where the next big Ethereum story breaks.
Check our related video covering last year's ETH Global highlights. See how trends from then are setting up today's big Ethereum plays.
That's all from ETH NYC Day 1. Stay sharp, stay early, and remember, in crypto, the next breakout might already be compiling on someone's laptop.